Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back for another astrology update and thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I also want to mention that I'm offering personal astrology sessions, and if you want to book a reading for the year of 2025, it's best to book in before March, as March, April and May will be very big and a very pivotal time in astrology in the upcoming year. So if you want to do that, you can find the link in the description box below. And today we will talk about the full moon in the sign of Cancer, which is happening on the 13th of January. So that's today. And I was planning on doing this video a bit sooner, but something came up. So I promised to release my next videos a bit sooner. So you get like more of a heads up before the energy of the full and the new moons really kick in, because the portal of the full and the new moons are happening 3 days before and 3 days after, especially, but they have like a manifestation of a 6-month period. So everything that I will be mentioning today, you will probably already been feeling that quite strongly. So the full moon in Cancer. Cancer is the sign ruled by the moon. This means that this celestial body becomes way stronger here. The moon is actually at home in the sign of Cancer. And the biggest themes for this full moon are overwhelming emotions. And with Mars closely conjunct this full moon, there's like a big theme of repressed anger from the past that is coming up in order to be released. Because full moons are about cleansing and about letting go. So if we look at the chart, and we're going to, hi everyone. First, I'm going to greet everyone. Hey, Emma. Good morning from New Zealand. Well, good evening from Belgium. Thank you for joining. And Vincent says, why isn't it showing? Kuskus from Vincent and Celine uit Mojacar. Oh, so nice that you're all joining together, and so nice that you're on a holiday in Spain. Sending lots of love to you guys. And Emma, yes, big energies around this one for sure. It's like very, very emotional. And I will start with sharing the chart so we can all look at what's going on. So here you can see it. The moon very closely conjunct Mars. Mars is going retrograde as we speak, and we're already, we're like seeing the peak of the retrograde, and this full moon will like really highlight the Mars retrograde. So we can also see in the chart that there are 5 planets and water signs. So yes, this one is like extra emotional. And the most affected signs are going to be, of course, Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Or if you have planets between 22nd and 28 degrees of Cancer, or in the cardinal signs. And the cardinal signs are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and of course, Cancer is also a cardinal sign. So if you have placements in any of the cardinal signs, especially if you have Mars there, that's going to be a very, very big impact for you this full moon. And also for people who are ruled by Mars. So for example, Aries as a cardinal sign, but also Scorpio. You will all feel this immense hit from this one. So yeah, the moon, it's like very, very watery, very, very emotional. And it's about our intuition and like the need for security. And these are going to be like key themes for everyone right now. And Cancer rules the divine feminine, the womb, giving birth, motherhood. But Cancer also rules the past. It's about our own ancestral lineage. So very deep emotions from our childhood can be easily triggered during this time. Even emotions or ongoing conflicts from previous lifetimes are triggered right now. So yeah, with the moon on Mars, it can be like a time where these emotions are getting too overwhelming and you feel like a very big need to express them. And yeah, repressed anger from the past can like really, really blow up right now. So because Cancer rules the past and final endings, Some unprocessed emotions from the past will come up and can like indicate a final ending, or like some sort of lingering conflicts will get like stopped or get to a halt right now. And yeah, Cancer, the sign of family, these conflicts are particularly about the past with certain family members. It's about like a very big healing energy that can emerge now from speaking your truth. And yeah, it's really about healing our family lineage. So yeah, that can be like a rather tricky one. And I know you don't choose your family, but there's a reason why you're born with them. So if you feel it bubbling up, really like tune into your emotions and really like give yourself permission to feel your emotions, because Moon and Cancer are water, but Mars is fire. So there can be a lot of moodiness, some nostalgic feelings, very big ups and downs. Yeah, there can be like very big emotional extremes going on right now. And yeah, these emotional, volatile emotions are getting emphasized with the Pluto-Mars opposition. You can see it in the chart. It's on the other side of the wheel. You can see Pluto, which moved into Aquarius. Even though Mars is in the sign of Cancer and it's like an out of sign opposition, it still gets a really big influence over us. But the Moon and Mars can like also point towards fertility, of course, motherhood. Mars is like our primal instinct, the Moon, motherhood. And then the opposition to Pluto, that is like very, very intense. And like Pluto and Mars together, they resemble like a great need for passion. So yeah, you will definitely need to let off some steam during this full moon. And the best way that you can do that is by doing some sports, especially connected to water, but also in the bedroom. These are like healthy outlets and very important remedies for this intense, watery, emotional full moon. So think about hot water, salt baths to clean or clear out negativity, go to the sauna or a spa, bubble bath, surfing, swimming, but also like walking nearby a lake or listen to the ocean. These are all things that can like really, really help you to like really cleanse out the negativity from the past. And if we look at the degrees of this moon, it's at the 23rd degree, and that is actually the degree of Aquarius. And this degree resembles to cut, says this degree. So if we look at the moon, it is sextiling Uranus. It is exactly at the 23rd degree in the sign of Taurus. And that can indicate some shocks, some surprises, the volatile energy that gets stimulated by Uranus. And it's important because Uranus, which is in Taurus right now at the exact same degree of the moon, it is going direct on the 30th of January. And that will be one day after the new moon in Aquarius. So yeah, that is like very, very important. And I will talk more about this in my new moon and Aquarius video. But I want to highlight right now that the chart of Israel has a 23rd degree Sun in the sign of Taurus. So watch what happens for them around that time, because we can expect some very big shocks and surprises related to them. So, and because the 23rd degree is also to cut, like how many people are getting into accidents lately? Like, is it just me? But I know so many people who had to go through surgeries, things breaking, car accidents, and I've actually know some people who broke their wrist or like had a very severe car accident. So like let me know in the comments below if you like noticed that as well, because it's like a rather tricky energy right now, and Mars rules everything: breaking, cutting, bruises, burns. So you need to be like extra careful with those with this full moon. And also important is that this full moon at the 23rd degree is 1 degree away from the very important Saturn-Pluto conjunction that we had in 2020. But that was in Capricorn. So the sun is like right now highlighting that. And that was a time when like everything kicked off. Yeah, it like kicked off the whole pandemic. So this full moon brings up themes related to that time. Like it's been 5 years ago right now. And currently on the news in Belgium, they're talking about code orange. They have like color codes to warn us about some type of infectious diseases or viruses or other type of health stuff. And some people are like wearing masks again, and on the television they're like advising to wear masks again. They're even wearing masks on television when they're like interviewing each other. So we have this new outbreak in China happening. So definitely some weird connection to that time that is like being re-highlighted right now. And the moon resembles the people in mundane astrology, and Mars is anger. We can like expect a lot of angry people during this time, a lot of irritation, a lot of moodiness, also connected to 5 years ago, some things that are gonna bubble up, some repressed anger for what they like did to us can like re-emerge. And Mars is also about to hit the 22nd degree because it's going retrograde right now. So on the 25th of January, just days before the new moon in Aquarius, and just days before Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, is going to go direct, Mars is going to hit the 22nd degree as well. So over the next 6 months, we will see some kind of new measures, some kinds of new digital implementation that they already tried to push through 5 years ago, that they will like try to install, and people will be like really pissed off about that and rebel against that. That's going to be very, very, very important theme for this year. And another important thing about Mars is that it's currently out of bounds. And like normally it's, maybe I shouldn't like explain all of this. The most important thing is that Mars is out of bounds, which actually means that the Mars qualities are getting way more like intensely expressed. The Mars qualities like come out in a way more extreme way than usual. And if you want to know more about the Mars qualities, you can go check out my Mars retrograde videos that I've already put out. Because another big thing, and oh my God, there's like so much to say about this full moon. It's actually a very, very special one, a very strong one in its home sign. So, but another important thing is when you look at the chart, you see the moon next to March, and from the 13th until the 15th, we're going to see an occultation, which actually means that the moon will pass in front of planet Mars. And astronomers call this like an occultation, and it's like a rather rare event when a full moon, when it is opposite the sun, as usual, but it coincides with a Mars, and Mars is also directly opposite the sun at the same time. And because the moon is way closer to Earth, and for that also bigger, the moon will like cover up and block the visibility of Mars in the sky. So that's actually a very special event. And you can like watch it if you live in the US and some parts of Canada, like Eastern and Central Canada, you will get to witness this event happening as well. So that's actually very interesting if you can look at that. And whenever we have like a moon Mars occultation, this like might indicate the ending of like emotional tension and like hostilities in the 6 months that are going to follow from this. And because it's visible in the US and Canada, it's going to be especially affecting those countries. So that's also what's been going on right now with Trump and Canada, and him wanting to like involve Canada into the US. And the special thing about this is that both countries, the US and Canada, they both have a sun in Cancer. The US even has like a whole stellium of planets in the sign of Cancer. So yeah, and I also think because the moon will block the intensive war energies from Mars, there's like a very big possibility that after inauguration day, the Ukraine-Russia war will like be cut out or like uh, get stopped rather quickly. I really hope so, because the moon like waters all the fire right now. So I hope things will start to slow down or like calm down. And also important is that this is like the first full moon when the North Node has shifted into the sign of Pisces. So if you're already a bit into astrology, you probably already know this. But for the next 18 months, the North Node will be in the sign of Pisces. So themes like intuition, spirituality, the unseen realms, miracles, divine intervention, these will all become very, very popular, or like it's like asking for us to like fully explore these themes, and this can like cause like a massive spiritual awakening in the upcoming 18 months. And it's now at the 29th degree of Pisces, which is actually a critical degree. So yeah, we can expect some more problems with water, with the sea, oceans, with flooding. And that will be particularly a very big topic around the 7th of February. And maybe I'll make a whole separate video about the nodes and the floodings. But what I also want to highlight is the LA fires. And of course, I'm sending all my love and all my prayers to people who are affected by them, because I cannot imagine what it must be to go through something like that. It's like so devastating to watch. But I want to like connect this to astrology, because people, there are all kinds of stuff, and people saying all kinds of stuff about it right now, and I just wanted to like see it in a chart. So before the North Node shifted into the sign of Pisces, it was at 0 degree of Aries, and 0 degree of Aries, that is actually called the world axis. So whenever a planet conjuncts 0 degree of Aries, events on a global stage take place. And Aries is primal fire. It is like not to mess with. 0 degrees is like infinite potential. It is like very, very strong energy. And the last time when we go back in history, when we had the North Node at 0 degrees of Aries, that was in June 2006. And then we also had like the extreme California wildfires. You can like look it up. So there's like a repetitive cycle and a repetitive theme going on. But right now, with the Pluto-Mars opposition, that like indicates total destruction. Whenever Mars and Pluto meets, it's like very, very devastating. So when the North Node was at 0 degrees Aries, the dispositor of the North Node is actually Mars, because Mars belongs to Aries. And Mars is going retrograde in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer rules the home. And with the opposite to Pluto, that's like very, very mass destruction. So, but because I was talking about this moon occultation, I think the raging fires in LA could come to an end with this watery moon in Cancer. Because, yeah, the moon is going to pass in front of Mars. And this will like point towards the heat getting extinguished because of this occultation. So I do think that they're going to get it under control very quickly. I really hope it, and I'm sending all my love and all my prayers to the people who are affected because of this. And something else I want to share about this full moon and why tension is getting so high right now is that on January 11th, the same day that the North Node shifted into Pisces, Aries, the dwarf planet, moved direct at 23 degrees of Aries, which is like the exact same degree of this full moon, only in the sign of Cancer, which makes like a perfect square to this full moon. And Aries is the mischievous sister of Aries. It's the largest, like one of the largest dwarf planets that we have. And Aries, she's about justice. She's very rebellious. She does not like to compromise. She's like this feminine warrior spirit that speaks up for herself, that like puts a lot of boundaries, and it's about reclaiming our inner power. So you can look at Aries as like the female version of the sign of Aries. So I think this also points towards these emotional outbursts and not wanting to like let people walk all over yourself. And yeah, it's definitely gonna be this will definitely reignite some lingering conflicts in the family. And Aries affecting this full moon in Cancer is saying like enough is enough. And some people will like really draw the line in regards to family. And I think some very big lingering conflicts can be stopped during this time. Yeah, it's like it's rather intense, and like I have been feeling it. I'm like an Aries, so yeah, I've been sweating in the last couple of days. So let me know how you are all doing with this energy, and what you do to like keep it peaceful, because I have been taking a lot of baths lately. Oh, and with Mars opposite the Sun, this also points towards like the peak of the retrograde, so that's also another reason why things are intense right now. But on a more positive note, we are having like a very beautiful planetary parade. If you look to the east, it started around the 10th of January, and it will like go on all the way until February 21st. There are like 7 planets that are going to line up and that are going to be visible with the naked eye. And if you can't really find it, you can like download an app on your phone, and then you can like look through the night sky, and the app will like show you where all the planets are right now. And I think that's like very beautiful to see, and it's like something that doesn't happen very often. So maybe to focus on something positive and to like really have a moment for ourselves to like really feel these intense emotions is by like looking at the planets and like asking them like, what are you doing right now? So please keep it calm. So, but it's like a very beautiful parade of planets. So I advise you to like take a look and enjoy it while it's happening. So then we will look at I will quickly look at the comments. And Emma says, Mars and Moon are dominant planets in my natal chart. Looks like I'll be out listening to the birds and streams. Yes, Emma, I think that's a very wise idea. Wow, Mars and Moon as dominant planets, you are definitely very much affected by this full moon. So let's look at the US SIBLY chart, because yeah, there's been things going on for sure. And I want to highlight where this Moon Mars occultation is taking place. And that is actually happening into the 8th house, which is traditionally ruled by Scorpio. So the 8th house is a very intense house. And the US has like a stellium in Cancer. So this full moon and this Mars retrograde is of big importance for America. So the moon exactly conjunct Mercury. Mercury rules neighborhoods, cities, because it belongs traditionally to the 3rd house. But in a mundane chart or in a country chart, it works a little bit different than in our personal chart. But yeah, you can see where it's happening. You can see how it brings forth an intense crisis for the country. And if we then look at the Mars opposition to Pluto, yeah, look at Pluto. Pluto is at the 27th degree. Mars right now is at the 27th degree. So whenever planets are at the same degree, that is a moment when things really get out of control. And Pluto is in the 2nd house, and the 2nd house rules over money and possessions. Mars in Cancer in the 8th house, intense crisis related to the home. And at time when it started, the North Node shifted as well. So 0 degrees Aries, events on a global stage. And if we look at the North Node, in, that was at that time in the sign of Cancer, Aries, sorry, that was at the EC. It's like the bottom of the chart. You can see the North Node very closely to Neptune. If you know the signs a little bit, I forgot to circle it. But the EC and the country's chart rules over the homes and the land. So Saturn and Neptune will start to close into each other, and they will make their conjunction to the exact same degree. So yeah, Saturn is about stability, Neptune is about dissolving, so a lot more change is coming. And I also want to look at the chart of Trump, because yeah, it's almost inauguration day, and Trump has the full moon at the exact same degree of his Saturn. And Saturn is the lord of karma, so there's like a lot of things to do around Trump right now, and they're like with Uranus on his MC, there are big shocks towards his reputation. And yeah, Mars retrograde over his Venus and his Saturn. It's like very big reviewing from the past. And if you look at Saturn, which conjuncts this full moon, it is actually lord of his fifth house. And fifth house is the house of romance, attraction, flings. But the fifth house is intercepted in his charts. So whenever a house is intercepted, it does not have a very good positive manifestation. So another big thing is, you see in his chart that he's born with Venus and Saturn conjunct. And we can see now that Saturn and Venus are again conjunct in Pisces. So whenever you are born with the Venus conjunct Saturn in your chart, that points towards troubles in love life, troubles with women. Saturn is a very karmic planet. Saturn is also the planet of our father. Venus is the planet of love. So people who are born with this aspect, yeah, the love from the father can be blocked in a very big way. And right now, Saturn and Venus again together in the sign of Pisces into his seventh house of other people, but also law and justice. Because the seventh house is traditionally ruled by Libra, so it is connected to law and justice. It's represented by the scales of justice, and that's also the reason why all these things and his sentence, or his not sentence, like his records and everything that's been going on in the court area for him. This is like pointing it out. And normally, Venus loves to be in the sign of Pisces, but not whenever Saturn is close by. Because, yeah, it's like Venus in Pisces is normally very loving, very beautiful, unconditional love. But with Saturn close to it, it's like making that to a halt, like it's like blocking. Saturn has a very limiting, repressing quality inside of himself. It's like a very strict teacher, Saturn. And because we will have like a Venus retrograde and a Mercury retrograde starting in March, the energy of that is already like palpable right now. Venus is already like going into Pisces. It will switch to Aries, then go back to Pisces, and I will make like a whole video about that, because that is going to be of extreme importance for the next couple of months. But you can see that the Saturn-Venus conjunction in his seventh house is squaring Uranus in his 10th house. So Uranus are shocks, volatile energy. The 10th house is about career, your role in the world, your reputation. So yeah, Saturn is a very karmic planet. And with Venus, it's karma related to women. And with this Venus retrograde that is going to take place for him here, there are still some things that we do not know of, and that will like come out during March, April, May. Something is going to be connected to what happens then to what's going on now. And with the squares to Uranus in his 10th house, that's like very volatile energy connected to his authority position, his public image. Uranus is giving him like a hard time, because we can see in transit that Uranus on his MC, that's like the top of the chart, that is like going to go direct on the 30th of January. So yeah, very, very harsh, difficult energy to manage. And Saturn will start to square his sun soon. And whenever Saturn squares your sun, years of hard work and years of building his reputation are really at stake. And this will like continue to be so for like the entire year. And after that, Saturn will enter his eighth house. And this is like one of the more difficult houses for Saturn to be in, because Saturn will block everything related to financial joint resources. It will block intimacy. The eighth house is the house of crisis. Saturn is the lord of karma, squaring his sun. Yeah, it's like it's not going to be easy for Trump in the next couple of years, actually. And maybe I will do a whole transit video about Trump's chart, because yeah, I do think Saturn square the sun is one of the more rather difficult positions. And other people, because it's in the sign of in the house of in the seventh house, it means that other people are trying to mess with his reputation, and he will need to like be very strong, have a lot of perseverance, be very resilient to, yeah, to really guard him against that energy. So yeah, we'll be notified in March, April, May, whatever happens with all his cases, because I know he like signed for appeal, and he's like trying to really clear out his slate. I don't know how you call it in English. So I don't think it will work out the way he wants it to be. So, and I think, yeah, Saturn is like things from the past really catch up with you. And whenever it's going to be placed in the eighth, that's like going to be, can be rather difficult for him. So yeah, with around the 30th of January, that's like 10 days after the inauguration day, Uranus will move direct, make an exact conjunction to his MC again. So yeah, his reputation gets a lot of shocks. It's like severely affected right here. And the new moon in Aquarius on January, sorry, the 29th will put another emphasis on that. And yeah, it's like very volatile energy for Trump right now. And I'm gonna quickly look at the comments. Becca says Trump can be the president of a bankrupt corporation. Yeah, I understand. And like Saturn in the eighth house points towards very big blocks and very big issues related to other people's finances. He will get like no help in that, or like less help, or he will need to like work very hard in order to gain it. And Emma says, I think Trump is a brand now and potentially not the individual anymore. I understand what you're saying, but yeah, inauguration day is getting closer, is coming closer. So I think I have inauguration day here. Yes, let's quickly look at inauguration day, because the sun will conjunct Pluto on the same day of inauguration day. And Sun conjunct Pluto, highlighting once more like the opposition with Mars that has been going on for quite some time now. Expect a lot of revelations and conflicts popping up about the presidency of Donald Trump. And yeah, during inauguration day, there can actually be violence connected to the nation Cancer, because we just had like this full moon in Cancer. And just the day before inauguration day, on the 19th, Aquarius season starts. And Aquarius is the rebel. It's like the outsider, the inventor, the genius. And like Aquarius is also like the societal architect. And Aquarius wants to renew, reform, and like reinvent the world we currently live in. And I think it's like, it stood out to me because, yeah, Trump is born with Uranus close by his sun. So he like really, really resembles all this energy in the 10th house, publicly known. And Aquarius is about to like breaking free from outdated structures, and it's like to improve. And Leo is like royalty. But Aquarius is like the outsider who has like a different view on the world and who has like a vision what the world could be like. Aquarius thinks outside of the box. And I think that's very, very prominent and very interesting that this Aquarius season starts just the day before Inauguration Day. And since Pluto just moved into Aquarius and the Sun that will conjoin Pluto on the same day, the Sun is like highlighting our new Aquarian reality, and some important news will definitely be released during these days. And around the 30th, we can be rather shocked about that news. Because whenever the Sun and Pluto, when they come together, it's about transformation of power, control. It's like illuminating the more darker forces in life. So that can be rather intense that day. And for Trump, it's like happening in his sixth house of service towards others. Sixth house is also job duties, but also health and well-being. And it's also the house of stress. So I think something will pop up around those dates that will be adding another layer of stress to what's already been going on, because I think he's really up for a very, very hard task, to be honest, in the next couple of years. And hi, Laura. So nice that you're joining as well. And Becca says Pluto opposition on Inauguration Day probably means we won't have one. Well, it's a little bit tricky because there are like pros and cons to this, and I have been thinking about it as well. But definitely Sun on Pluto can mean something very intense, something very dark, something very, very emotionally manipulative things that are happening during that day. And that's like a very, very intense aspect that's going to go on. So yeah, there's a possibility for sure. And Animar says, President Trump is nearly 80. How much more of this stuff can he take? Young ones would find it extremely tough. Yes, Animar, I totally agree. And definitely, like, I'm not going to lie, and I do not want to wish this upon him. And in astrology, it's very important to not like predict death or like something related to that. But I do know whenever Saturn crosses into your 8th house, that is like a period where the death energy is more present in one's life. But if you're like young and you have Saturn transiting in your 8th house, it can also point towards your father or someone who has some kind of authority over you that falls away from your life. So, but because Saturn is going to square his Sun, that can like really, really point towards difficulties, because Saturn blocks the Sun is like vitality. Yeah, it can be a very, very depressing and a very, very draining time for him. With the combination into his 8th house of crisis, it's just not looking very good for him, to be honest. So, I also want to, yeah, before I switch over, I do not wish anything bad upon him. I'm just like reading the chart. And yeah, I hope he stays safe and protected, and I do not wish any harm upon no one. So, what I also want to mention is the chart of Israel, and I'm just going to quickly touch on that because I'm going to go deeper into that whenever we have the new moon in Aquarius. But I do want to give like a little heads up, because if we look at the chart of Israel, the moon occultation takes place at the MC. So yeah, the top of the chart, very publicly known, authority, reputation, Mars war, moon explosion, outbursts. But the important part here is that on the 30th of January, Uranus goes direct at the exact same degree of the Sun of Israel. The Sun in the 8th house again, domination, control, manipulation, shared resources, tax, loans, mortgages are all part of the 8th house. But yeah, that Israel has a Sun in the 8th house, it does like not surprise me at all. And with Uranus going direct on the same degree, we can expect like major shocks in regards to that country. And Mars retrograde over the MC can also point towards like losing some kind of power. But you can like also look at it from both ways. It can also be like power from the past that returns, but I do not see it this way in this chart, with Uranus on the sun going direct, creating massive shocks. But Mars going retrograde, it's about conflicts from the past. Mars rules war. MC is very public, so everything in regards to the MC gets very, very widely known. And with Uranus on the sun, it's like in the eighth house of crisis, we can expect a very big shock in regards to that country. Because if we look at the new moon in Aquarius for the chart of Israel, that is like very, very, very harsh. They have like this new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign that belongs to Uranus. So it gets like emphasized even more, the Uranus direct on the sun of Israel. And they will have like this new moon in Aquarius in their fourth house. Fourth house resembles lands, borders, and all of that. Meanwhile, at the same time, there's like Pluto, Mercury on top of each other, and it will like oppose the moon, and the moon in the chart of country resembles the people. So yeah, very, very intense, very, very, it's going to be very, very intense for the people who live in Israel during this time. But I will dive deeper into that whenever we have the new moon in Aquarius. I just wanted to like give a heads up front. So with that being said, we can look at the mini readings for each of the 12 signs. So remember, if you have planets between 22 and 28 degrees, you're going to be very, very much affected, especially if you have it in the cardinal signs. And Aries and Scorpio are also very affected by this. So we'll start with the sign of Aries. So Aries, sun, moon, or rising, you have the full moon in Cancer in your natal fourth house. And it's important because it's conjunct your chart ruler Mars. So yeah, it's really, really about family for you guys. Do we have some Aries in the chat right now? Because how have you been handling this full moon in the fourth house? It's like very, very strong. And it's really about like your own emotional journey connected to your family lineage. And people can like very, very easily emotionally trigger you during this time. And it's normal to feel a little frustrated. Very big frustrations in regards to your home, your living situation, to people that you live with together. And these frustrations are like building up in order for you to like be able to make a change. And these changes can be actually very positive after the Mars retrograde is over. So don't go on the attack. Don't blow up. Use this energy to defend yourself and to like put up clear boundaries in regards to your family. Be mindful of exploding to them, because it can take like a longer while to like fix things again with them. It could take all the way up to May before the conflict gets resolved. And yeah, these conflicts are definitely related to the past, because it's in fourth house, it gets an extra big emphasis. And definitely some kind of test will take place in that area during this full moon. So very important to keep yourself grounded and know that it's like okay to feel these intense emotions in regards to your family right now. You're going to maybe be asked or be forced to defend your family during this time, or something will definitely come up in regards to your safe place. So some will face issues with their living situation, or maybe something breaks or something is being let go of inside of the home. Things breaking inside of the home is a possibility. But the frustrations can definitely be like further influenced by family members or like roommates, for example. So really expect some tension between like asserting your own needs versus those you live with together. And a good remedy for this is to like clean out your space, declutter, throw out some things from the past that take up space and that are not really necessary anymore. That could feel like relief. So yeah, it can also feel like you have like little energy to nurture other family members during this time. And patience and diplomacy will be of great importance. And if someone from your family comes up to you right now, someone that might have hurt you in the past, know that this full moon also has the possibility to heal these wounds. At first, the old frustration might come up in order to be like fully felt and acknowledged. And after you succeed in blowing off some sort of steam or heat, there's actually a real possibility to heal these past hurts in relation to all family members right now. And because Mars is going retro and the full moons are about cleansing and letting go, it's a very good time to really look at certain lingering conflicts and to maybe be ready to let them go. So if such an opportunity, if such a healing opportunity takes place, really like take them with both hands if like such a situation is presenting itself, because at first it might seem like a very big task, but it can actually be a very big hidden gift. So you will definitely like reap the fruits of your labor and your patience after the retrograde period is over, and that will be by the end of February, but Mars will still need to move out of its shadow until May. So patience, Aries, and I know patience is a biggie for you guys. Me as an Aries, I sometimes feel like they forgot to install that when I was born. So really focus on like understanding your emotional triggers rather than reacting impulsively or from a trauma response, because this time will teach you how far you've come in accepting yourself and your family members as a whole. And like if you've been fighting with family members in the past, now is such a great time to heal. So if they want that, give them another chance. It's time to like cut out some dark ties with the past and overcome long-standing issues with your relatives. And if you are able to forgive someone right now, that can like points towards like a major turn in your emotional reactions. So expect some positive transformation in regards to your home, even though it's going to be accompanied by some frustration. And let me know what happens. I'm curious to hear from my fellow Aries and like how you've been handling this Mars retrograde. And I wish you all the best and a lot of peace and patience, my dear Aries. The next one is Taurus. So, my dear Taurus, you have the full moon in the third house. So, the theme for you really is emotional conversations. The third house rules everything in regards to communication, writing, speaking, social media, siblings, but also your means of transportation, like a car, being on the road, also your local environment, for example, going to the store. And Mars rules your seventh house of your relationships and the other person, but also the 12th house of the mind, of dreams, intuition, and everything that is like hidden or that is like part of the mysterious side of life. But it also rules hidden enemies, the 12th house, so be a little bit careful. And I know I forgot to mention it in the beginning of my video, but like with this full moon and Mars together, we can like all have like very active, very vivid dreams. And for Taurus, that's going to be definitely a theme. But like because Mars rules your 12th, it's like subconscious reactions can like interfere when you are like communicating with your spouse or your business partner, your clients, because it's also in the seventh house. So be a bit mindful of that. And also be careful of upsetting people with something that you like say or blindly mention without thinking clearly. And because it's in the third house, this full moon, car issues are also likely. Don't act impulsively when driving. And it's normal to feel more agitated while you're on the road. Be a bit more careful about accidents or road rage. Maybe you like piss someone off while driving without even realizing it. Because it's 12th house, subconscious, things that are a little bit hidden from us. But the third house is also your neighbors and your siblings. That's also part of the third house. So some frustration from the past can come up in regards to them as well. And because your mind, which also belongs to the third house, is getting very much stimulated during this full moon, be more open to like listening to the other, because you will get like massively triggered to really speak your mind during this time. I would advise you to like remain calm and speak wise, because otherwise, yeah, your patience is getting like very much tested right now. And for those who are like rather introverted and are a little bit shy and don't really like to speak up for themselves, this can actually be like a good time to learn how to do that. And you can like be a little bit surprised about yourself, about how it comes more naturally right now. And I do predict that there can be some subconscious anger rising to the surface that will be connected to the past, and this will be like expressed in means with communications with other, in your local environment, with neighbors, with siblings. So wait a bit to talk, take a deep breath before expressing your frustration, because this moon is like sextile and Uranus in your sign, so there can be like some surprising or some sort of shocking conversation that can have like a volatile effect on your nervous system. So take time to calm down the nervous system, and the best way to do that is to listen to some frequency music on YouTube, or just go for a walk, or go for a short trip. It's also part of the third house. Get out and really maybe meditate or cleanse nearby water. That's also a very good way of regulating your emotions during this time. So good luck, my dear Taurus. And the next one is Gemini. Gemini, you have your full moon in the second house of money, possessions, and resources, especially if you're Gemini rising. But if you're a Gemini sun, it's also applicable to you. So the second house, yeah, there can be like a major purchase or a major bill, because Mars rules the sixth house. And the sixth house is connected to your health. And maybe some bill is going to be connected to something to improve your health, your well-being. For example, like a doctor, a trainer, maybe also a therapist is possible. But it can also be connected to your pets. Your co-workers also fall into the sixth house. And Mars also rules your 11th house of friends, communities, and big groups of people. And because moons are about letting go and cleansing out, there can be some money that you need to let go of right now. And this can feel as if it like threatens your safe emotional space. You definitely feel like more emotional about money right now. Because when a moon transits your second house, your emotional safety and your sense of security are like very, very closely tied to your money and your possessions. And people who are born with the natal moon in the second house, you guys know what I'm talking about. So be a bit mindful about emotional spending as well. But because Mars is going retrograde, some money from the past that you've lost can also come back to you right now. And if it's possible, I would wait to make very big purchases around that time, especially around this time. And if you are waiting on some type of money, it could take all the way up until the end of February, until Mars slows down and moves direct again. But definitely there can be some mixed feelings about money right now. Maybe you win some, maybe you lose some. The moon indicates an ebb and flow, so expect some fluctuations in your money sector right now. And also like a very big need for a financial reassessment. And that can be like at conflict with your personal values with this Mars retrograde. So, and because Mars rules your health section, if you lose some money now, that can definitely give some worry to the extent that it can negatively affect or impact your health. Sixth house is the house of stress. So money has like some sort of extra influence on your stress levels right now. Maybe you need to pay some money to fix your health, or you decide to like up level your health. and you are like willing to spend extra money on the gym, on a personal trainer. And because of that, you can also see like a rise in self-esteem, which belongs to the second house. Or maybe you've already done that, and now with this full moon, this is coming to a closure right now. And that can be like then one of the more positive manifestations of this very watery emotional full moon. But the second house is also food, because in tradition, it's ruled by Taurus. So be very mindful about the food that you're consuming right now, and if that like contributes towards your well-being, sixth house. And if you struggle with your digestive system, which is connected to house 2 and house 6, like especially try to look at everything that contains gluten, lactose, dairy, alcohol. Maybe you need to let something go that you've been like consuming on a daily basis to be able to like restore your health right now. And because the second house, yeah, maybe some streams of income are being released, and that can like also affect your productivity, sixth house. Or something at the office changes, and that can affect your money. It always works both ways. But either way, you will like feel extra sensitive and emotional, reactive towards your daily jobs, your daily duties, your co-workers. And yeah, there are going to be some of you will experience some financial pressure connected to decisions from the past in regards to money. So it's actually a very good time for Gemini to budget more in order to find like emotional security. So good luck, my dear Geminis, and don't go shopping with your girlfriends to make you feel better, because afterwards you're gonna feel worse. So sending all the best, my dear Gemini. And the next one is Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. How are you doing, my dear Cancers? Full moon in your sign. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I know it's been very, very emotional. I know it's been, can feel like a little frustrated if emotions are building. Just know it's because of this moon in your sign, and of course also with the Mars retrograde in your sign. So for Cancer, this is like a very big time of change, very big time of reassessment. Mars retrograde is almost at its peak. So very big time to like look at how you emotionally express yourself, how your emotions shape your identity. It's a very, very strong energy for the sign of Cancer. And Becca says, triple Cancer here, woke up crying. Yeah, Becca, wow, triple Cancer. I can totally imagine you woke up crying, because yeah, I am an Aries, I'm fire, and I felt way more emotional these past couple of days than normally. And I had a very difficult time of containing my tears. So as a triple Cancer, holy guacamole, that must be very, very intense. And I'm sending you a very, very big hug, Becca, and I'm looking forward to see you during our session soon. So yeah, Cancers, you are like one of the most sensitive signs, and this full moon is highlighting this like triple hundred, something like that. And yeah, Cancers can be very, very explosive, very, very moody during this time, especially with this fiery planet Mars creating some hard time in your sign right now. So yeah, very explosive energy for Cancers. And yeah, of course, you, my dear Cancers, you are ruled by the moon. So yeah, if you need to cry, just let it out. Because if you will try to like hold it in, it can cause too much frustration right now. It can like very negatively affect you during this time. And I know it's a theme for everyone, but especially for Cancer, all these unprocessed emotions from the past are coming up. They're really needing to be felt during this time. And people will also notice that you're wearing your emotions on your sleeve right now. So people can see it on your face, they feel it in your aura. And other people, because they're like sensing that so strongly right now, other people can be a bit more reactive towards you as well right now. And like, yeah, your nervous system gets some sort of big rise up in emotions. and others are just like feeling it very strongly right now. And because the sun is transiting your seventh house of partnership, yeah, the light of the moon and the sun are reflected into yourself and into other people right now. So yeah, these emotions can be strongly felt in regards to your marriage and your business partnership if you're working with clients. And you can also notice that like moodiness can cloud like your business partners or your marriage partners a bit more than usual, because they're like reflecting it back, or like projecting it back on you, or you on them and back. It's like vice versa. And Capricorn rules your seventh house. So yeah, these emotions will manifest extra strongly in the area of your business. Capricorn is the sign of hard work, also people in authority. And Mars rules your 10th house of authority and career and reputation. So this again puts another emphasis on the work area in which these strong emotions can be, yeah, overwhelming. You can also notice that you can be a little bit more assertive at work than usual. And some cancers with this Mars retrograde are definitely thinking about a job change, and like, or how to be like more outspoken in an authority position, or grow more in some sort of leadership position. And authority figures can really test your growth and your patience right now. There can be like a big challenge in expressing your self-identity in relation to others, and like how you communicate your needs towards other people and vice versa. And it's especially important right now to not let other people define you. It's about how you think about yourself right now, and how you express your needs, and how you like navigate your assertiveness. So try to be compassionate whenever people trigger you, because you're more prone to like having an outburst right now. It is normal to feel this very deep, and try to like retreat a bit into your safe space whenever things get a little bit rough. And romantic lovers from the past are also up for a review, because Mars also rules your fifth house of romance, but the fifth house also is ruled by your children. So yeah, Moon Mars together in your first house can be like a very, very intense energy that attracts some suitable lovers. But don't make impulsive decisions right now, because with the Mars retrograde, some things need to be reassessed first. But with Moon Mars together in your sign, if it makes like positive aspects in your natal chart, there can be like a very great need for passion being felt, and like the Moon and Mars together can also be very, very fertile. And with Mars ruling your fifth house of children, pregnancy can be like a very big theme. So if you want to have kids, this can be a very, very fruitful time for you. But if Mars and the moon makes bad aspects in your natal chart, this can point out towards conflicts with children, getting to like reaching some sort of climax, big conflicts with bosses that, yeah, give some sort of outburst. So it all depends on what it does in your personal chart, but either way, it's extremely emotional right now for cancers. So be a bit mindful with about disputes with children or with your partner about your children. That will be like a lower manifestation about this transit, because yeah, it's just like very intense, because it affects house 1, house 5, house 10, and all these emotions combined in all these houses. It can be a lot for Cancer right now. And a great remedy to like lessen its more negative manifestations from this full moon is to let go of some steam in the bedroom. I think this is the most healthy way for expressing these intense emotions. So because Mars is very hot, very feisty, Mars energy needs to come out in some sort of way. So I think it's best to like let it fully come out into the bedroom. And I think makeup sex will also be a very, very big theme for Cancer during this time. And I'm very curious what's going on for you right now, Cancers, because I know this is like a very big one for you. And I'm sending all my hugs and all my kisses towards you. And I hope in all these emotional, overwhelming feelings, that you can find some peace inside of your home. Cancer rules the home, so it's best to just like retreat, take a blanket, take a cup of tea, take a salt bath, and really enjoy being at home. And Becca says, I know Becca, yeah, triple Cancer. My meditations revealed that this is a forgiveness wave coming in. Oh, that's so beautiful to read, Becca. And I think everyone should take an example by that, because, yeah, Cancers, they are so loving, so supportive, they're so nurturing, so caring. And I know Cancers, sometimes they take advantage of your good and kindred spirit. And if you are then able to forgive someone, that is just very, very beautiful. Yes, Barno, sweet woman, very sweet woman, for sure. Becca is an angel. So good luck, my dear Cancer. The next one is Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. For you, this full moon is a rather tricky one because it's happening in your 12th house of dream, sleep, the astral realm, spirituality, subconscious. It's a very, very hidden, very private house, a little bit hard to grasp. Things happening beyond your control. So yeah, uh, there can be some trouble sleeping because Mars in your 12th house with this full moon can be very, very active dreams, maybe some nightmares. And if you do suffer a bit from nightmares, these really point towards the need for inner reflection. And some nightmares are definitely a sign that some problems from the past are like affecting your subconscious in a harsh way. And if you're like brave enough to look at them, that can like lead to a very, very big spiritual breakthrough or spiritual growth. So, but with Mars going retrograde, whenever Mars goes retrograde, it like loses its power. Full moon on top of it, making it super emotional. The 12th house rules sleep. So if you're like, you're definitely more prone to feeling tired. You might need more time to sleep in. So take a step back, relax, unwind, take some time to rest if you feel that you need to, because Mars is a very loud, feisty planet in the 12th house. That can be a very like loud transit for the subconscious. And this full moon will like really, really highlight that. So maybe some problems or irritation with your mother or inside the family can give you like some insights into how severely you're like still affected by your upbringing and how you like navigate these emotional triggers. This full moon is going to be very wildly highlighting that for Leos. And because it's in your 12th house, it's a very good time to do ancestral work. There can be some breakthrough. There can be like a big breakthrough in some programs and some patterns from your ancestral lineage. So it is like a very beautiful time to go heal that right now. And that can actually happen inside of your sleep. But if the problem is more deep, you really need to like do hypnotherapy, meditation, psychologists. All these people can like maybe help you or find ways to like process everything. That will be a very good use of this energy. So yeah, very good time for like reflecting on how suppressed anger is causing issues in the family. And also a very good time for quitting bad habits. That's also part of the 12th house. The 12th house is like self-undoing. So this time we'll like really highlight where you sabotage yourself and learn ways how to work through it by looking inward. There can be like an increased intuition about what needs to be done right now. So meditate and examine yourself and your situation, especially your family situation, and really take time to engage into spiritual practices. And if things get like too intense, consult an astrologer, consult a therapist, because these people can like really, really help you to stimulate a very big spiritual enlightenment during this time. But take it step by step, because I know you Leos are tired right now with this happening in your 12th house, and maybe the results from your actions are not going to be like obvious very quick. You will need to like take time and wait until the Mars retrograde is over to like reap the fruits from your hard labor into like the astral realm and the unconscious and everything like that. But yeah, very good time to delve deep and cut ties with the past, because the 12th house are things getting dissolving, or it's like the house of Neptune and Pisces, things getting dissolved, things getting like, yeah, very, very hard to grasp. It's a very, very mystical house. And because Mars rules your 4th house of home, this moon and Mars retrograde, there's definitely a possibility that you're maybe currently away from home. Maybe you're spending time with your family. Maybe you're spending time in another country, because Mars also rules your 9th house of long distance travel. So yeah, and some Leos are definitely wanting to move to another country, or even just want to move to another house. But first, some things need to be worked out while Mars is retrograde in your 12th house. So purge things from the subconscious, and you will get like a clearer view about your future 9th house, about where you want to live in the future, connected to the 4th house of home. And other Leos will want to like retreat inside of their home and distance themselves from the outside world. So if you feel that's like needed during this time, listen to it. This full moon is triggering you really deep to take time to delve deep and to like look into yourself. Just listen to it if you feel the need to retreat. And if you're like away from home and you're currently traveling, be careful about taking risks and about ending up in the hospital. And you do not want to jinx it. I just want to warn you. The 12th house also rules hospitals, jails, mental asylums. So yeah, be more careful. You're more accident prone, especially connected to travel or inside the home actually as well. Or maybe someone from your family that lives abroad can also end up as at the hospital, and maybe you need to go visit them. Or maybe you need to visit a family member that's in the hospital at home. That's also a possibility. So everyone in the family needs to be more careful during this time. Mars retrograde points out towards accidents. So ruling your 4th house, especially also the mother. Leos need to maybe take care of their mother. That's maybe a reason why they are away from home. Because the full moon in Cancer, the sign of the mother, rules Mars ruling your 4th house of mother. Mars going backwards can point towards accidents with your mother as well. So yeah, warn your family that they don't take risks, don't act too impulsively, and also Leos, be a bit more careful while traveling, while cooking, and with fire inside of your home. And if you feel too overwhelming emotions, take a hot bath or a sauna to relax and unwind, and to lessen the more lower manifestations of this full moon in your 12th house. Also, if you engage into spiritual practices, some very big signs can be coming through in your dreams right now. That can also be a very big one for Leos, because it's in the 12th house of sleep and the astral realm. So enjoy astral traveling, my dear Leos. The next sign is Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This full moon conjunct Mars in the sign of Cancer is happening in your 11th house of friends, social gatherings, your goals and aspirations, big groups of people. So yeah, a lot of social activity, get-togethers, activities with friends. Be mindful of some old lingering conflicts or frustration popping up around those themes. Your role into social setting and friendship is like up for a review with this Mars retrograde, and really gets highlighted during this full moon. So some friends might also be more emotionally reactive towards you right now. And with this Mars retrograde, definitely some friends from the past are popping up again. Maybe they have some big news for you, and maybe a very important conversation about that can take place because Mars rules your third house of communication. Maybe now they come over and maybe they tell you about the reason or why you haven't like heard from them as much. And old conflicts with friends can come up, and some kind of outburst is possible, so be mindful about that. But be open to communicate with them. This can be like a very sensitive conversation, and friends can also just be like more emotionally receptive towards you during this time. It doesn't need to be all bad. So yeah, but do expect a lot of sensitivity surrounding all social gatherings right now. And friends who are like emotionally nurturing you are also highlighted. You will like you will be receiving a sign about that, and can be like quite clearly with this full moon. And some friendships might end because of too much frustration. Mars rules your eighth house of transformation and third house of conversation. So, big changes in friendships. Maybe some friends tell you that they're moving, that they're pregnant. Pregnancy with friends is a possibility with Moon Mars in the 11th house of Cancer. Because Mars and the Moon together points out towards fertility, and maybe because some friends gives birth, that can also be a possibility. One of your best friends gives birth. That can also point towards like a big change and transformation in your friendship with them. And you can also like meet certain new friends during this time, but I think it will mostly go about friends from the past that are pop up to like finish something or complete something. But maybe like an important connection takes form, and these can be like very like-minded people that you run into, because the 11th house rules like-minded people. And that meeting can like take place in your local environment, the third house. And with all these planets in your seventh house right now, they're making like good aspects to the moon. So yeah, also even if you meet someone from the past, or maybe an old lover from the past that was your friend, can become a partner as well. There's like a lot going on, and a lot depends what aspects it makes in your personal chart. So good luck, my dear Virgos. Libra. Okay, Libra, sun, moon, or rising. You have the full moon conjunct Mars in the sign of Cancer in your 10th house of career, authority, social standing, your public image, your boss, your father. So, yeah, Libras, this moon, especially if you're like late Libra, sun, moon, or rising, so in the last degrees of the sign, this moon will square you, and it will give you like big tension in regards to these themes. So let me know what's going on and in which area it is manifesting for you right now. But this full moon can point towards like a completion or some sort of big change in your career. And it's going to be like versus how it affects your home life. So career versus home life. And maybe some of you Libras will let go of a certain career with this full moon and Mars retrograde in your 10th house. So let me know what's going on with your career right now. Is it like causing frustration or irritation into your home life? Does your partner maybe want you to be more at home with them? Or is the boss a bit more emotional reactive towards you now? Or are you a bit more emotionally reactive towards your boss right now? It's all possible. I know in the 10th house it's not so much fun. And yeah, be like extra mindful and careful about people in some kind of authority position, as they can like provoke very strong emotions in you during this time. And this is also like I'm looking at the whole sign perspective in these charts, but if you're like a late Virgo rising in the last 10 degrees of the sign of Virgo, and Placidus system, that's another house system which I use in my personal readings. You can also have like this full moon in your 10th house. So whatever I'm going to say might also be applicable for you. So it's also very important to go find out how much degrees your rising sign is, to listen to the correct info that I'm providing. But 10th house authority persons, and especially your parents, because your parents are this natural authority figure in your life. It's in the sign of Cancer, which rules the family. So definitely for Libras, something in regards to their parents and their parents causing some kind of frustration is definitely possible right now. But also, like 10th house can also be like your inner authority, although it's related to Mars, but Mars rules your 7th house of others. So maybe you need to let go of some kind of leadership role right now, or maybe you are letting go of some kind of boss, or maybe you decide enough is enough. If one of your parents is too much provoking you during this time, can be rather intense placement in the 10th, and also very visible. So yeah, but either way, there's like a big reassessment and everything that's related to your career right now. And things that happen at home can become like publicly known very easily with this full moon here. Because if you have like this full moon at the top of your chart, you're like very, very visible during this time. And maybe something happens that affects your reputation. That's also a possibility. Something like about work needs a change in order for you to be like more supported at home, or vice versa. Strong emotions at your job can be felt, and your professional life can like really clash with your home life. So this full moon can be highlighting to find balance, and that could prove to be a bit challenging. So a big theme to like integrate your need for ambition, 10th house, and how that affects your emotional needs at home or from the people that you live with together. So yeah, there's like this big contrast in how you are like viewed by the outside world versus who you are at home. And Mars rules your 2nd house of money and your 7th house of relationships. So with this full moon and Mars, some will want to like quit their job so they can spend more time at home. And this can affect your money situation, of course. Some might also get fired during this transit, because full moons are about completion. Mars retro in the 10th house can be like old lingering conflicts need to be reviewed. Full moons are about release, letting go. So there's a possibility. There's a possibility that some of you might get fired, and you will be like forced to spend more time at home or together with your partner, 7th house. And if you get fired, just know that there's like a better job coming whenever this Mars retrograde is over by the end of February. And when this retrograde is over, you have like this new, this renewed look on your job, and it can actually mean a money increase as well. So first there can be like a dispute, but things will work out better than you imagined if you are like capable to give it some time. So give it time until the end of February. Yeah, a better paying job can like really come along. So big changes in relation to your career and reputation in the upcoming months. And be a bit more mindful about conflicts regarding business partnerships. Changes in those relationships will really impact your career. And if like some sort of business partnership breaks down in the spring, a better one can come along. So don't worry. It's not good to fight with people you are in business with. They really need to like have your back and be there for you. So and because Mars rules your 7th house, some of you might meet someone at work or form like a romantic or business partnership, like together with them. I mean romantic and business partnership at the same time. So yeah, working together with your partner is a possibility as well, but things need to be reassessed until the end of February. So really don't go out on the attack. Don't act impulsively at work or towards your partnerships right now. So good luck, my dear Libras. And I'm going to take a sip. So the next one is Scorpio. Hi, my dear Scorpios. How have you been handling this Mars opposite Pluto? I'm really, really curious how you're all doing. Luckily, Mars now jumped back into your ninth house, and you have this full moon in Cancer, conjunct Mars in your ninth house of long distance travel, spirituality, religion, philosophy, publicity, your belief system, your higher view, your higher wisdom, and your look on the future. And it's also in a water sign, this full moon. So it's actually positive for you. You will receive some kind of guidance and help from your fellow sister water sign. So this is about like your higher beliefs, your higher knowledge, and full moons are like about releasing, letting go. So maybe some of you Scorpios are completing a course, or are you maybe putting out a course that you are completing and like are gonna release to the public. If you are doing that right now, that can be very beneficial for you. And if you want to like market something or put out some advertisements, this can also be fruitful for you. Or maybe you have been doing that and now the advertisement is completed and you're ready to like launch your course. So yeah, very, very positive. And if you're like a writer, this can also be a very positive time for a book release. And the ninth house is also about travel, so this can like come up as well. Some will suddenly book a flight with the sextile to Uranus in the seventh house. But there can also be like issues that causing you to having to fly out somewhere suddenly. And the ninth house is also partly connected to legal situations. So if you're having to deal with a legal situation, this can cause some issues or conflict right now. Mars is your traditional chart ruler, and this full moon is highlighting this. And your ninth is getting like a lot of energy right now. And it's connected to your sixth house of service towards others, job duties, daily routine, but also the house of stress. So maybe some kind of routine is being let go of during this time, or you maybe change your mind about certain services that you provide towards others. Maybe you can even experience a little decrease in those with Mars retrograde in your ninth house. Or maybe your view or outlook on the future is changing and you want to provide less service towards others in the spring. There can also be like some kind of conflict in your spiritual belief, and this can cause some outbursts in your daily routine or at your job or with coworkers. So be a bit mindful about your views opposing those of your coworkers, and that causing some frustration on the work floor. And it's close to your MC at the top of the chart, so this can also happen between you and a boss. So also be careful about legal fights with the boss. And I know your reading here is a bit more negative maybe than others, because yeah, Mars is your chart ruler. Mars opposite Pluto, home career area, is severely affected in the next couple of months. Again, being emphasized in the sixth house of job duties, work towards service towards others. So yeah, be mindful about like pissing off the wrong people and ending up in some kind of legal conflict. But for other Scorpios who are maybe still in college or at school, they can have like a different outlook on when they will like finish their year or like graduate, something in regards to that. And for others, some changes in regards to like completing some kind of training or study can maybe cause some kind of frustrations, because with Mars retrograde, there can be a little bit of a delay revolving around those themes. So really put the focus on your belief system and on how you like look at the future, and really look about how your spiritual beliefs affect your daily routine and maybe make a change in that. But either way, a very good time for learning and for reconnecting with someone in a foreign country. Maybe you meet a man from the past while traveling. And yeah, it can also be like a teacher or like teacher student kind of bond that pops up or like re-emerges from the past, because the ninth house is also about mentors, teachers, gurus. They all belong to the ninth house. So but either way, with Mars moving out of your 10th house, I think for Scorpios now this is better. And this full moon Trining your sign, I think it will be less severe than in the last couple of months. So let me know how you're doing with all of this energy, and good luck to you, my dear Scorpios. The next one is Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You have this full moon conjunct Mars in the sign of Cancer in your 8th house. And yeah, this is like a very intense one for you guys, because the 8th house is the house of life and death, transformation, money, joint resources, joint finances, intimacy, trauma. So yeah, changes like because it's in the moon of in the sign of Cancer, changes inside of your home or with the family. These changes are going to be somehow connected to money. And full moons are about releasing and letting things go. So the 8th house is mostly about money from others. So maybe there's like a change in your partner's income. It might cause some frustration or conflict. Or maybe your partner doesn't want to share as much with you anymore as before, because with Mars retrograde, things are getting reviewed in that house. And the full moon is really highlighting that right now. And in the emotional sign of Cancer, that can definitely cause some outbursts right now. So yeah, maybe if you owe your partner money, they ask it to return it right now. So yeah, whenever Mars is transiting your 8th house, there's mostly some kind of loss of money, or some unexpected thing comes up in regards to money. But it can really be about losing money because of your partner. Definitely for like people who are born with a natal 8th house Mars, they always experience losses in money because of their partner. It's just like how this energy works. But if your partner owes you money, Sagittarius, then it's like vice versa, because Mars retrograde in that house, like lost money, money from the past, money that's owed to you, can also come back to you right now. So it like depends on your personal situation, and it also depends on your natal chart, and if Mars makes positive or negative aspects to your natal planets. Then we can like really dive deep and look at how this situation will like play out. But definitely themes like lending, borrowing, mortgage, your insurance, your taxes, loans, all these things are like up for a review. And with this Mars retrograde, it can take a bit longer for you, or it can take longer for money to like return to you. Some will like definitely have to wait on their money until this retrograde period is over by the end of February. And Mars in the 8th, in combination with this watery, emotional full moon, can be like very, very emotionally upsetting this time for you, Sagittarius. There can be like a big resistance to change inside of the home. Yeah, because like some old traumas are getting triggered again. And this full moon asks you to like really dive deep into that in order for it to be released, because the 8th house is also the house of very deep healing. It's the house of psychology, or like psychiatrists, psychological help, traumas, working through your shadow side. These are all things that are found into the 8th house. So yeah, really, really dive deep into your traumas and look for a way how you can like release those. Because old issues revolving around intimacy are like really, really asking your attention right now. Moon and Mars together can be very maternal, very fertile. The 8th house is very deep transformation. It's also the house of sex. So a lot of Sagittarius are going to like feel a big rise in Kundalini energy. Like I always look at it from a spiritual perspective. Like even though you can lose some money, maybe because of a partner, like in return, you have like this very big Kundalini energy rising, and that's like very special type of energy to work with. So maybe you can look at it as some sort of sacrifice to the gods for this Kundalini energy rising. And yeah, there can be like some this Kundalini energy that's increasing can cause like some issues with your partner, or it can like clash with their energy because they're like not experiencing that right now. So dial it down a little bit if you feel this hot burning energy rising, because with this moon here, it can like be like that. It can be very, very hot, very, very feisty, very, very intense. And yeah, this full moon is like really showing you that there's like a bigger need for a deeper commitment. And not all Sagittarius are going to be getting that type of intense connection, like the type of connection that they're looking for right now. So for some, this moon can definitely cause some issues in relating to their partner, especially in the bedroom. For others, if you have like positive aspects to this full moon and Mars in your natal chart, they can have like the time of their life in the bedroom right now. So really a lot depends on your personal chart. And if you like meet someone new right now, you can become like totally infatuated by them. Be careful about power struggles, and if you feel some kind of obsession towards someone new, because that's also part of the eighth house, this is like pointing out towards your soul asking for an intense, deep need for transformation. And yeah, there's like a very big focus on transformation by letting go of control on the other person, and really work on trust issues right now. That can be like a very, very big theme popping up for you right now, Sagittarius. And in the eighth house, because it's also about money from others, themes around inheritance can pop up as well. And maybe you will need some sort of like financial counseling if you feel overwhelmed, maybe some psychological counseling. Mars rules your 12th house of the subconscious. So embrace the deep vulnerability that this full moon will trigger for you, and really focus on mental and physical healing. Some traumas from the past are definitely getting purged here right now, all the way up until the end of February. That can be like a continuous theme. So yeah, take time to retreat into your 12th house, take a step back, really progress everything. And Mars also rules your 5th house of children. So it's good to like, because this moon and Mars in your 8th house, they can like procreate life. That's for sure. Moon and Mars together in the sign of Cancer in the 8th house, that can be like giving birth. But a lot of Sagittarius are going to think about creating a new life. And because Mars retrograde is a reassessment ruled in your fifth house children, it's a very good time to now use this Mars retrograde to heal traumas from the past before you like start to pass them on to your children. And if you work through these issues, it will also have a very positive effect on your love relationships, and you can like start attracting other type of romantic partners who will like start to teach you other lessons, maybe deeper lessons. But yeah, the 5th house also points towards your inner child and your childhood traumas and family karma. So it's really, really about self-love for you, my dear Sagittarius. And yeah, this can be a bit of a critical time. So take action if you feel like you need to let go of something. And yeah, really think about yeah, maybe some Sagittarius, because it's in the 8th house and it rules your 5th. Maybe some Sagittarius will start thinking about setting up a will for their family or their children as well. It's not only about inheritance, maybe it's about your own inheritance. That's also a possibility. So yeah, really it's a time to dig deep in the more darker sides of life, the more darker themes of life. And it's a really good time to like shed old patterns that block you, or let go of your self-sabotaging behavior. Yeah, it can be rather intense for you, Sagittarius. So I wish you the best of luck, and let me know how you experience this moon in your 8th house, and if you are fighting over money, or if you're having the time of your life in the bedroom. And I hope it's going to be the second one. Good luck, my dear Sagittarius. The next one is Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You have this full moon in Cancer, conjunct Mars in your seventh house of relationships. The seventh house is the house of the other. It's your business relationships, your clients, your audience, your one-on-one personal sessions. That's all part of the seventh house. So yeah, this full moon is really about other people. So it's about my needs versus other people's needs in the sign of Cancer, and it's also about how you how you respond to others and how others respond to you. And with Mars and the Moon here, if people are like too worked up or like too emotional, you can feel like extra frustrated because of that right now. And maybe better to wait until things cool down a bit. A lot of emotional tension in marriage can like happen right now, or with business partnerships, especially tension from the past that can rise to the surface. And yeah, there can be definitely outbursts from other people towards you right now. And yeah, people from the past can like reappear in your life right now with this Mars retrograde in the house of relationships, and maybe they're gonna pop up, and maybe something needs to be worked out. Maybe some partners from the past are looking for some type of closure. So definitely a highly emotional charged full moon here for you. And yeah, be mindful of other people really pushing your buttons right now. They can like really, really trigger you with the sign of Cancer and Mars on top of the moon. And Mars rules your fourth house of family, home, and the past. So the sign of Cancer gets emphasized again for you, Capricorns, because the moon traditionally belongs to the fourth house and it's conjunct Mars, which rules your fourth house in your chart. So very big emphasis on people you form a very close bond with, and also people that you live with together. And fourth house and Cancer both rule the past. Something might come back up and bite you or cause some kind of conflict right now, definitely. And Mars retro is putting another emphasis on that. So I think you Capricorns are going to be most likely to meet someone from the past that causes issues inside of your home. Um, can also be like about, yeah, family members. Yeah, the themes like family members and issues regarding the home are getting like massively highlighted right now. You can go back and forth with a family member and with marriage partners about real estate, fourth house, maybe about where you want to live or about how you want to live together. Mars rules also your 11th house of friendships and social gatherings. So maybe you're hearing stuff about an ex-partner because a friend informs you about it, or you're bumping into them at a social gathering connected to one of your friends. It's also possible. The seventh house is about other people, so you will be informed by big changes in the life of others and those who are close to you. Maybe there's a big change in direction in your spouse's life, or maybe someone important moves back to you in your hometown again, and maybe your friend tells you about that. Or maybe you want to move, and suddenly someone from the past pops back up again and makes you maybe second guess your actions. So yeah, definitely some things from the past need to be worked out, and this moon will give you like insights about who or what you need to work out. And some of you Capricorns will really, really break like an important long-standing cycle, can like really give a very, very big emotional release. Maybe for some of you Capricorns, maybe it's time to move on. So yeah, a big focus on partnerships and finding like balance and harmony within the home together with them. It's between you and a partner, a family member, someone you live with together, and they will be more emotional than usual. So really practice understanding with them, and maybe give it enough time in order to solve some conflicts if they pop up, and maybe some fights about real estate or your place of residence are possible. Now, good news is Pluto is no longer in your sign. So we can still celebrate that, even though I know this full moon in your seventh house can be rather emotional, and maybe you're going to be a little bit fed up with other people being too emotionally towards you. Just keep in mind that it's because of this full moon. So good luck, my dear Capricorns. The next one is Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising. You have this full moon conjunct Mars in the sign of Cancer in your sixth house, excuse me. And your sixth house is about health, work, service towards others, it's your pets, your co-workers, your job duties. And like Aquarius, let's be honest, how are you doing? Because like, are you not too overworked? I've been warning with this Mars in your sixth house that job duties can become too overwhelming and can really lead towards stress. Yeah, this stress can like really negatively impact your health, and this full moon is highlighting that right now. Or maybe your health is not in a very good state and this negatively impacts your job or gives you some stress at work. It can go vice versa all the time. And these issues are like probably going to be connected to like emotions or frustrations that are stemming from the past. These emotions can like really cause inflammation in the body with Mars here and this full moon now highlighting that. And this full moon can be some sort of peak where you like really need to look more closely at your well-being, because like an overload on emotions can make you feel as if you're drowning right now. And be mindful of habits that no longer serve you, and also take like a closer look at what you're consuming. Maybe some of you are a bit emo eating. I would advise you to like keep moderation. Otherwise, the combination between all these emotions and overeating could really like lead towards digestive issues. So the sixth house is about reorganizing your daily routines, and daily routines that like contribute towards your health and well-being. So really take time to unwind from stress. Mars rules your third house of the mind, your communication and your local environment. So it would be good to like look at your daily routine and how that's like playing out in your local environment, and maybe make some changes in that. And by taking some time to go on the road, because the third house also rules the road and cars, maybe you need to go out and explore the natural surroundings that are close by. Maybe go for a walk, a run, a bike ride, a little road trip. It can like help you to release the emotional vulnerability that this moon is highlighting right now. And it will also be a good way to release some stress and tension that it has been building up in your sixth house. The third house is also really good to like maybe read a book to unwind. Maybe you need to journal your thoughts. Maybe you need to listen to some music to keep your mind off of stress. And pets can also be a solution. Even pets will be like more emotional, reactive than usual, because your pets belong to the sixth house. So it would be good to spend more time with them and give them like lots of cuddles. It will feel especially emotionally rewarding right now. But be mindful, with this Mars retrograde, pets could need more attention with this full moon, and especially dogs. They could need some kind of extra help during this time. Yeah, some kind of daily routine or schedule from the past is probably getting completed right now. Maybe you can let go of some type of routine right now, because your schedule can be quite busy and there can be like many changes, and that can feel like very stressful. So there can be like too much on your plate right now, and that can be like difficult in managing everything. It will be very good to like examine which routines are like beneficial for your well-being and which ones are not. Make changes in that, and be very, very mindful about working in a healthy environment. And if that's not the case, try to change something in that and like really try to lessen the stress, because I know Aquarius for you with this full moon in the sixth. If you feel a bit anxiety, if you feel overwhelmed, that's like totally normal during this time. So good luck, my dear Aquarius. And Becca says, is is this transit magical in any way? Well, actually, Becca, yes, because if you are capable of like releasing the build-up tension, and you let yourself cry, you really feel into your emotions right now. It's like a very, very beautiful time to like have a very big healing breakthrough in regards to your family. So I know, Becca, as a triple Cancer, it can be harder to see through the clouds right now, or maybe you're feeling more overwhelmed and more stressed because of these emotions. But yes, actually, this full moon can be a very, very magical time. Um, it's like for you, especially emotional, and I would need to look at which house that Mars rules for you in your chart, and I'm going to do that soon when we have our meeting. But let's be honest, the Mars retrograde, if we also look at a mundane level, it's like creating a lot of intense emotions. And this full moon in its own house, it can be very, very good time to cuddle with those you love, to retreat, to practice self-love, to really like put yourself in a bubble, to write something down, write your feelings down, look over them, listen to music, like really, really reconnect with your family values, and really dive deep into how your family values affect your emotional being, and make some changes in that. It's a very good time to like honor your ancestors, to like clear out the karmic family lineage. So yes, it's a very, very magical time if you're able to like really tune into your emotions. And I know that's like something they haven't really taught us in school, or maybe our parents. It's like not really talked about in society, although luckily that is changing in the last couple of years. So yes, really connect with your emotions, and take a salt bath, put up some binaural beats on YouTube, and then this can be like a very, very magical time for you. So I hope that helps, Becca. And I'm sorry if it's like a little bit too negative, but with this Mars retrograde and this full moon together, like it's like, yeah, very, very emotionally intense. So good luck, Becca. So the last sign is Pisces. So Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. You actually have a good moon in the fifth house. It's trying your sign. It's in a fellow water sign. So yeah, full moon in the fifth house, conjunct Mars in the sign of Cancer. The fifth house rules romance, children, creativity. For Pisces, this can be like a very passionate and fun full moon. It trines you, so very positive, even though it can feel emotional. Pisces are very, very sensitive, just like Cancer. And yeah, it's like try to channel your emotions in something creative right now, because the fifth house rules your creative hobbies. You can like really make good use of your emotions through making art, or painting, photography, using your imagination. You're very, very good at that. But the fifth house is like the house of flirting, so this can be like a very sexy full moon for you, because it's conjunct Mars, the planet of primal instincts. So yeah, some of you Pisces will definitely meet a romantic attraction from the past during this full moon. And there can be like a lot of passion accompanied by that. And the fifth house also rules children. So if you're like trying to get pregnant, this can be like the time that you find out that it succeeded. It's a very, very, very fertile full moon. So Pisces, if you don't want kids, take your precautions. But normally with Mars retrograde, trying to have kids can prove to be a bit more challenging. But with this full moon, it's like definitely a possibility here for you. And another manifestation of this energy, like if you're a single mom, this time can prove to be a bit more difficult or a bit more emotionally challenging, maybe having to take care of the kids by yourself, alone. This full moon really highlights you need to make more time for fun. And with Mars retrograde here, there can be like a theme of having to like rework or rethink everything that's related to your creative projects, to your romance, to children. So a very good time to look at creative projects from the past, and if that like still gives you emotional satisfaction. Very good time to channel your emotions into creative projects. And really reflect on what gives you joy and like what stimulates your creativity. Mars rules your ninth house of beliefs and higher wisdom, also long distance travel, and it also rules your second house of money, possessions, and self esteem. So, with this Mars retrograde and this full moon, you're probably thinking about how much money you want to spend on travel, maybe how much money you want to spend on education, or maybe you're rethinking and reassessing how much money you need to save for your children in the upcoming year. That can be like a theme going on right now. But either way, it's like a very passionate full moon for you, and it's like great for making love, to like really integrate romantic moments, or like spending time with your kids at home can be very emotionally rewarding, and also cocooning could feel very nurturing during this time. So very, very great for connecting with old lovers from the past. Some Pisces will definitely run into males that they were like in some sort of way romantically attracted to in the past. It's very great for old projects that you might want to relaunch in the spring. So look at old projects that used to give you like a lot of emotional satisfaction. It's a very good time with Mars retrograde to reassess these projects and to like relaunch them whenever the Mars retrograde is over. So really put like an emphasis on joy, on your hobbies, and on things that you used to love doing, and things that used to give you like a lot of joy. Maybe you don't have time for that in the last years, and maybe now this Mars retrograde will give you like an extra time to like relook at them, relaunch them, reignite them. And yeah, for you Pisces, it's definitely about like your emotional awareness about like the fun side in life. So yeah, for Pisces is actually very good. It's actually very nice. And maybe yeah, this full moon also trines Venus in your sign. So something good can like come onto your path, even though it's a white trine. Still with Venus in your sign, and with a Venus retrograde in your sign, also a Mercury retrograde in your sign, starting in March. If you like relook at old projects and relaunch them now, relaunch them in the spring, I meant, that can like prove to be of great value, and prove to be some kind of stabilizing factor in your life. So a very good time to have fun with your kids, have fun with your romantic partners, have fun in doing what you love. So I think this is from all the signs the most easiest or the best full moon, and that's for you, my dear Pisces. So let me know how it's going, and let me know if you're having a lot of fun. I'm really curious to hear about you. So, this was it for the 12 signs. So, a very emotional full moon in the sign of Cancer for everyone. Practice on emotional understanding, look at your triggers, and really dig deep to find out why you're feeling a certain way, or why some emotions from the past are coming up for you right now. It's like a very good way or a very good opportunity to heal them right now. So a very big emphasis on family karma, honoring the ancestors. Very vivid dreams from are things related in your dreams from the past that are coming up right now. So really be compassionate for others' strong emotions. Really tune into your own strong emotions, and If it all gets too overwhelming, take a salt bath, really clear those negative emotions from the past, really practice self-love, and enjoy some cup of tea at home under a blanket, and really cuddle with those who give you like a lot of emotional satisfaction, and really enjoy this full moon, really enjoy the cocooning energy that this full moon will provide you. And if you need to cry under your blanket, just let it go. It will prove to be of very healing to you right now. So I'm sending lots of love to all of you, and I will see you back in my next video. Bye bye.